How's it going, everyone? This is Christian Duke, and you're watching Strength Addicts TV. Last night I was at the gym training back, and I ran into my friend, NPC bodybuilder, NPC natural bodybuilder Lonnie Wade. Now, as many of you may recall, I interviewed Lonnie 6 days out from Western Michigan. He placed 5th in his class, very respectable, had a great look, worked really hard, and I was real proud of him. As we got to talking, we talked for about an hour, it came up that, to the best of his recollection, there wasn't any natural national qualifiers in Michigan as of 2013. Now, I countered with, well, what about the natural Northern Michigan or the natural Michigan? And apparently they still are national qualifiers, but not for bodybuilding. They are for bikini, figure, and physique. Now, if I'm mistaken, by all means, please shoot me an email or a comment, and I will retract this video, or at least retract my position. But we really started asking the question, where does a natural bodybuilder go in Michigan? And you know, the thing about it is in my opinion, any person that gets on an NPC stage has the ultimate goal of one day getting an IFBB Pro card. What they do with the Pro card is entirely up to the person. I mean, there's people that use the Pro card for business purposes, like my friend, 2003 Team Universe overall winner, Jeff Willett. He opened Jeff Willett's Powerhouse Gym in Adrian, Michigan. Check it out, it's amazing. Other people, and of course that is the event, the Team Universe. It's not natural, but it's tested. That's where all the natural guys go. Jeff Willett won in 2003. Derek Farnsworth, he used the Pro card to compete in the IFBB. He places 6th in the 212 division. He looks amazing, all natural. And other guys politely decline the Pro card and just continue competing year after year in Team Universe, like Skip LaCour. But the point is that the natural athlete wants to go to the Team Universe, to a national pro qualifier, because the ultimate goal is the Pro card. And in all honesty, for a natural athlete to go into an untested contest hoping to qualify for national level competition is, quite frankly, naive. In all honesty, a guy like Lonnie, a tall guy like Lonnie, for him to have gotten 5th at the Western in his class is like front page news. It's a real milestone. The only way, I mean, honestly, a natural guy, in my honest opinion, couldn't win the novice class at a big Michigan show. I mean, they couldn't even win the novice class. That's how unfair advantage there is. There is a scenario, I suppose, one or two, where possibly a natty could win the overall. Let's say, for example, he'd have to be very short, like 5'3", 5'4", in that ballpark. Have to be a very small show, maybe like the Lansing of the Central States or the Flint Mid-Michigan. And it would have to be a very lightweight class, like the Bantam class, for example. In that situation, if you had a bantamweight 5'3", really good color, master poser, he'd have to be a crazy poser. He'd have to be the guy that taught Ed Corney how to pose. And let's say he was up against a big old fat blob, super heavyweight that, you know, just had a horrible GH gut and didn't know how to properly use diuretics and just wasn't cut, had really bad color, and maybe punched a judge backstage or something. In that scenario, possibly the bantamweight natty could win. And some people may say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I know Joe so-and-so back in the summer of 82 and Bill what's-his-face back in the winter of 2011. But these are isolated freak instances. Generally, a natty cannot win the overall at an untested show, cannot win his class at an untested show, and in all honesty, unless he's as good as Lonnie was at the Western, can't even place top 5 because it's just not fair. Now, this isn't a judgment on people that use. I have nothing against chemically enhanced physiques. In fact, I would never want to see the Olympia be natural or the Arnold. I think that, you know, steroids are unjustly scapegoated in America. I think they should be totally decriminalized. I think that if used under the supervision of a doctor getting regular blood work, I think they can be very safe. And in fact, they can better your life. But do I think that there is an unfair advantage between a chemically enhanced bodybuilder and a natural bodybuilder? Absolutely. And I don't think a natural bodybuilder should have to be expected to qualify under those levels. And basically, it's like take gear or just go home. And that's just not appropriate. That's not fair. That's not what the NPC is all about. It's never been about that. And so the real question is, you know, where do Michigan athletes go that want to qualify naturally? And the honest answer is nowhere, at least not in Michigan. I do want to talk a little bit about Dave Lieberman's Natural Ohio. Now, Dave Lieberman's Natural Ohio, and later in the year, next year, his Natural Northern USA, These are shows that are just top notch. Let's focus on the Natural Ohio because there's a show coming up. It's in a little bit under 4 months. Always over 400 athletes. Expo with dozens and free expo with dozens and dozens of the biggest and baddest companies around the country, supplement companies, tanning companies, clothing, accessories, everything. And it's really important to make this distinction because a lot of shows don't have expos. A lot of shows don't have a guy like Dave Lieberman, who is a nationally, internationally known contest promoter and contest guru. It's really, honestly, to me, second only in size and quality to the Arnold Classic. And it is a national qualifier. And it is a show that's been won by major people. Like, for example, last year's Team Universe overall winner, Artie Caldwell, competed at the Natural Ohio. Michael Lockett, another Team Universe overall winner, competed. They both won at the Natural Ohio. Last year's winner, Danny Wells, just a freak at 51 years old. He just won every class, won the overall. I don't know where this guy put all his trophies. And the people were like, yeah! And that is something that a natural athlete does not get at an untested show. A natural athlete, see, that's the other thing we want to talk about by going to the Natural Ohio. It's not even just a question of the natural athlete can't qualify at an untested show. The natural athlete wants to win, just like the other guys. And the fact that he doesn't, because of this unfortunate chemical edge or lack thereof issue, is really inappropriate. The natural athlete doesn't simply want to qualify. The natural athlete wants to stand in the limelight. He wants the audience. He wants the recognition. He wants to know that all of his blood, sweat, and tears during that long prep, it resulted in a physique that really got the accolades. And you just don't get that at an untested show. So again, the people, I mean, honestly, let's be honest here. I mean, if you had, who's like the biggest natural bodybuilder, like one of the biggest names, like Lane Norton, let's say Lane Norton. And you put Lane Norton up there next to Kai Green, okay? Now let's say they're both at 100%. Do you honestly think that Lane Norton is going to get people saying, yeah, Lane, I want to look just like you? Are you kidding me? Everybody is going to be there for Kai. What I'm trying to say, folks, is that I've got nothing against anabolic steroids. They should be decriminalized. They, if used under proper medical supervision, can be actually beneficial to your life, not hurt you in any way, shape, or form. They can save your life in the right situation. But in competition, it's an unfair advantage. And if it's an untested show, you can't blame the guy for taking juice because it's allowed or it's not tested. But it's not fair for the natty guy to stand there against someone that's juiced to the gills, because even if he does qualify, he doesn't really get that recognition that he so badly desires, that he so badly deserves. So again, all the more reason to go to Dave Lieberman's Natural Ohio, because it is tested, because everyone there is on the same level, at least from a hormonal standpoint. Do you know what I mean? And I really feel like the natural athlete needs to feel that his craft is worthy of praise and that what he is doing really means something to people, because the people in the audience at the Natural Ohio, they really love the physiques and they love the bodybuilding, and they really, no one gets on stage and doesn't hear a clap, no one gets on stage and doesn't hear a yell, because it's family there, you know what I'm saying? And so again, I just really feel like this isn't about crap on Michigan and yay for Ohio. It's not about that at all. And Michigan's got some great shows, a lot of great talent, good promoters, good sponsors, but unless I'm mistaken, unless Lonnie's mistaken, there's nowhere for the natural athlete to qualify for national level competition. And if that's the case, then I would strongly urge you to look at Dave Lieberman's Natural Ohio in Lakewood, Ohio, which is only about 3.5 hours away from Novi, 4 hours maybe from Lansing. It's really not that long of a drive. And, I really feel like that would be the way to qualify. You'll meet Danny Wells, you might meet Artie Caldwell, Michael Lockett might be there. If you watch this video and you're even the least bit remote, shoot Dave Lieberman an email or shoot him a Facebook message. He's a really nice guy. And not to mention, I want to include this also, I will be there, which is probably like, who cares, right? But I will be there with my good friend Jeff J, and we'll be covering the show for RxMuscle.com. RX Muscle, we don't cover any shows in Michigan anymore. A lot of people are saying, RX Muscle is going away. We're not going away, but it didn't make business sense for us to cover contests that really, honestly, had very poor attendance. A lot of them did have poor attendance. And, people wouldn't go on our site to see the contest photos. People don't go on our site to see we're number one in contest coverage, bar none. But we have really I think we sort of reassessed our position in being number one in contest. We're number one in major contest coverage. Because honestly, the whole thing online is we want people to come on our site and look at the contest photos and see all the banners and all the ads and all the programs and features that we offer, which are many and excellent quality. But if people don't go, then we can't really justify paying a photographer. We can't justify paying for his gas, his mileage, paying him a salary. It just doesn't make business sense. And on top of that, people aren't going to the site. So we will cover the Natural Ohio, and look at the Natural Northern USA just a couple months ago. They had Mike O'Hearn. They had Nicole Wilkins. I mean, they had some big people. They had Justin Compton there. I mean, it was just like crazy, and that's how it always is. Last year, the Natural Ohio before that, I was there. They had Phil Heath. I mean, I believe they had Dana Lynn Bailey. I mean, you're talking. Plus, they have this huge expo. Yeah, I mean, it's just hundreds of athletes. Coverage from all the big magazines. I mean, yeah, I have to be honest with you. I mean, for 3.5 hours away, you'd be a fool if you were a natural bodybuilder not to be at Dave Lieberman's Natural Ohio. So again, this is why I made this video, and this is not about crap on Michigan. I really want to stress that it's not about crap on Michigan, because like I said, Michigan's got some great shows, great contests, but the natural bodybuilder needs to feel the love and needs to be able to qualify for national level competition and needs a top-notch natural show to do it in. By the way, I've been sipping on Best BCAA from BPI Sports. This is the blue raspberry flavor. It's absolutely amazing, delicious amino acid drink. And I want to shout out to my good friend Chris McKenzie, who's the VP of Sales at BPI. We've been friends for years, and he's been hooking me up, I don't know, since like 2008 or something. So I really want to shout him out. I'm not sponsored by BPI, but I do love their products, and I think it's important to, give a shout out where a shout out is due. So for that, I'm Christian Duke. This is Strength Addicts TV, strengthaddicts.com. Take care, adios, and see you on the other side.